Hey, it's Tom from Inspiration Metalworks, and in this week's video, we are going to go over some tooling that we've got, some new tooling, some new tool holding, and talk a little bit about some of the projects that's been going on here in the shop. Specifically, I've had to get up to speed on cutting 304 stainless, which has been interesting. So let's get started. All right, if you watched my live stream the other day, you saw that I have been I've been working with a bunch of 304 stainless lately, and one of the things that I've been trying to do as obviously I got the new machine and things like that, but I've really been trying to improve my my efficiency here in the shop. Both the way that I run my tooling, the way that I do my programming, all kinds of things. And one of those things is getting much more efficient on making some of these parts, because I know I'm going to make more of these parts. I can't show you all of the parts or things like that. It is under some of it's under non-disclosure agreements, but at least for now, just know that I've been cutting a bunch of 304 stainless. I've got a couple of new tools here, as well as some tool holding to go over. Things that are going to be changing the way that I do the tooling. Actually, let me grab a couple of other things here. All right, so let's get started here. The live stream, we kind of went over this on that. It was over an hour, so if you didn't watch that one, you're not hurting my feelings, but I did go over a lot of this in the live stream. So I was making these great big 304 stainless parts, and I was using a 3/4 inch carbide 5-flute cutter, and this one in particular is from Shars. It did a good job, it really did, but and it was something that I was trying to dial in speeds and feeds and work holding and all sorts of things, so it was pretty new to me. That being said, I knew that I could do a bit more if I had other options. So one thing that I did is, so I've got this 3/4 inch end mill. I got some feedback from my friend Dennis over at Seco Niagara, and he recommended this cutter. Now this is a 6-flute stabilizer cutter. It's the S638. Let's see, it is the SCS 638R-0.750-D3-R030 Z6HL. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff here. Hopefully it was on the screen for you, but basically it's got a special coating on it. It's got chip breakers on it to help with the chip evacuation, because I was doing an adaptive tool path with this, and I was ending up with 2.5 or 2.25 inch long pieces, right? And the chips coming off of it, and they would get all tangled up. While you wouldn't normally use the term bird's nesting in a mill, it actually made like a bird's nest around the part, and over time it was recutting chips and all kinds of things. This should alleviate that. He says it's also good for roughing and finishing, so we will see on that. I do have some more of these parts to run. I'm just waiting on the material to come in. On top of that, we are going to be doing a couple of other things here. I got in touch with a couple of my tooling reps to go over this, and I've had folks from Mitsubishi and Tungaloy both came out and talked to me about different ways that I could approach this task as well. The Tungaloy rep even dropped off some samples for me to try out, and actually this one I've already bought. The other one I'll show you in just a second. Basically, because this particular tool I also want to use on my GPS mounts, but it is a 3/8 inch single flute end mill, but it's indexable, and this one uses APKT. So they are tiny little inserts, right? But I've got inserts for steel, stainless, well actually we'll do stainless and mild steel, and then another set of inserts for aluminum. So this one I think is going to be really good for my GPS mounts, and there is a feature on some of the stainless parts that I'm doing that this one would get into that feature really nicely. And using high efficiency milling, we should be able to just zip right through. The other one And this is the one that would essentially take the place of that 3/4 inch end mill for a lot of what I was looking at. So this is the big brother here. And now this is a 1-inch 3-flute insert mill. And it uses, it's got kind of a rounded edge on it. So this is LNMX is the insert type. So yeah, I'm really interested in this one. So this guy, you're not gonna be taking super deep depths of cut. I think we were looking at probably like 20 thou, 25 thou per pass, but then full width of cut at something like 20 thou per tooth. Right, so this thing ought to just smoke. I mean, I'm hoping, and I'll see if I can get some video on it. It ought to just be like, you know, running around so fast that you just, you know, chips flying everywhere. That's the plan. Actually, I got an email from my rep today about coming over when I go to run some of these parts so we can dial it in. So these ought to be interesting, and I will shoot video on those 3 different tools if I can. Now, new tooling also deserves good tool holding. And so I've really upped my game here. I went with Schunk hydraulic tool holders. I've got a couple of them. So the first one, this is the 1-inch. So what's really cool about this thing, we'll just go ahead and drop it in there so you can see. It is really, really neat. A very snug fit. There we go. All right, so yeah, I just had to get it started. Very snug fit, so make sure everything's lined up. But basically, you drop it in there. It's got an Allen style on the side here, and as you twist it, it's universally clamping on this thing. And you're not supposed to like really push or like do anything hard on this. You're supposed to basically go until it stops, right? So, I mean, I can feel it. It's got a bunch of pressure in there. It's probably tight enough, to be honest. But you're not supposed to like put any, yeah, that's it. So it stopped, right? So there it is. This thing is solid. It's not going anywhere. And just for grins, let me just double check here. Yeah, I got plenty of clearance. So yeah, I mean this guy, throw some inserts in it, throw it in the machine, touch it off, and it's ready to run. Now they make another option for these, and I got a kit here. All right, so it comes in this fancy case, and so you get a holder, but you also get sleeves for it. So this is a 3/4 inch holder, and I've got a set of sleeves. There's 5 sleeves with this one, and it goes down to 1/8 inch. What's cool though is for other size tools, like here's 1/2 inch. So it's got a sleeve in here that would drop in place, and this sleeve transfers that same holding power to the other size. Now these are kind of tough to get out, so it even comes with a tool here that you basically just slide it underneath, and it will slide that up and out. So really, really nice setup. I'm pleased by it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how these do. Hopefully this is going to provide very, very secure work holding or tool holding for me as I'm running these parts. All right, well, I can see that this video is already starting to run a little bit long. I will come back, we'll do more videos on this stuff very soon. I definitely want to show you how these things cut. I'll give a little bit of evaluation on what my thoughts are in here. I also have to change my programming approach for this. Again, the high feed mills use a very different approach to this as opposed to the high efficiency milling that I've been doing with setups like this. So we will definitely follow back up. In the near future, I'll be doing a little bit more on the control for this thing. I promised folks a video on after running the mill for a couple of months, what are the things that I like the most and things that I don't like about the Hurco. And then we also have to do a bunch of stuff put this guy back here, right? I think I've only shot like one really quick video of the lathe. So as I'm coming up to speed on Fanuc and how that works. So definitely more to come. I'm trying to get back in the swing of doing regular videos again. But for now, let's call this a wrap. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll see you real soon.